Welcome to the Williamsville Wire live wire broadcast here in Champaign, Urbana. Once in a lifetime opportunity for the Williams Wire that we want to thank Mr. Euchre for helping us get here, broadcasting the state semifinal game before this, we didn't know where we were going to be, but we're here. Williamsville plays Chicago Phillips, but before that, we've got overtime. West Central, who Williamsville played in the regular season, Colin and I were there. That was the infamous game that Blake Scheffler went down, which I think we should probably be paying him every time we say that. But nonetheless, West Central in overtime in a thriller with Aurora Christian in the 1A second semifinal today. So 4 minutes remain in the fifth period. Guys, what's the thoughts?
Coming into this beautiful, beautiful arena, and all the emotions are flying for not just us, but the players themselves. This is a big-time moment on a big-time stage against a big-time opponent. Williamsville been the underdog the entire season when it came to the postseason. You know, you didn't think they would beat Auburn. Then you go to Old Marquette. You didn't think they'd beat them. And then obviously Macomb down 16-3 in the first quarter. They ended up winning that game despite only making 1 3, and Brayden Saling and Timm both going 0 for. So for Williamsville, they've had troubles this postseason, but they also have had resiliency here, and that's what's gotten them to Champaign and in this huge matchup against Chicago Phillips. And you look at, you know, this team and what they're made of, and this is a team that bends but doesn't break. They never waver from the absolute competition that they saw against Macomb or Old Marquette. They think it's just a business decision, and so far it has been, and that's what's gotten them this far.
So looking at the game right now in front of us, West Central currently has the ball. They won the tip, so in overtime, I'm kind of pulling for West Central. I won't lie to you.
Obviously, you want the local teams to win.
Well, I'm going to call West Central completely local. They're close enough. They're closer than Aurora. Yeah, when we played West Central, I mean, that's still a decent drive, but definitely pulling for them. They're in that,
I would say West Central area. West Central area of Illinois.
Right, well, they're in Bluffs, which is in Scott County, so not too far.
Winchester area.
You know, you look at Phillips. Their first game of the season, they lost to the juggernaut Quincy, who did get knocked out in the playoffs by normal Community. And you guys see that video, the end of the game, the inbound play. That guy, controversial, maybe a foul, pushed him out. Probably was a foul. It kind of got pushed out of bounds, but threw it right back in, and it was a walk-off dunk for the Ironmen, beating the Blue Devils. But nonetheless, Quincy beat Phillips' first game of the year, 69-58. Then a local team, Phillips, played Lanphier in a shootout. Lanphier fell 84-69, and 84 points were scored by Phillips. And that kind of shows you what Williams is up against. It's a high-powered, fast offense.
100%. And when they want to go, they'll go. And part of the reason they're able to get so many fast break opportunities is because the active use of hands. And they're athletic, and they will poke at the ball, and they will get some steals. So for Williamsville tonight, you're going to have to take care of the basketball, get good passes around the arc, and get your inside scoring when absolutely necessary. But obviously it starts with the guard play. Brecken Thomas, been your point guard. Aurora Christian just hit a huge three to go up by 1. But Brecken Thomas, your new point guard, 1450, was covering him all week long. And Mr. March, some have called him this week. And he's going to have to take care of the basketball. He's not going to have that many turnovers. And obviously Brayden Saling, Timm, both need to take care of the ball and get themselves open shots. Obviously a different backdrop than what we're used to seeing at a high school court. But Williamsville needs to hit their shots and take care of the basketball if they want to have a good offensive game here tonight.
All right, we'll take a quick break here as overtime continues. Don't want to get most of our thoughts out, kind of spacing this out. We probably have 45 minutes till we're going to tip, at least 45 minutes. So we'll take our time, but first I want to thank our sponsors, Elite Lawn Care. You can contact Ashton Heideball in Sherman, Illinois, 217-652-3190. He's also doing snow removal, but I think the snow season's over, so springtime cleanups is what he's going to be focusing on. So if you have any You're looking for someone to cut your grass this spring, you can give him a call. And Wade Muller at westtownford.com, another proud sponsor all season long for the Williamsville Wire. You can contact him at 217-245-7101, or you can email him at wade.muller@westtownford.com. And he's located in Jacksonville. And Top Tier Springfield, Matt Huebner, proud sponsor of the Williamsville Wire, wishing all high school athletes good luck through this season. Once again, Williamsville Wire, we'll be back. Welcome back to the Williamsville Wire, and it looks like we're going to have double overtime as Zach Evans can't put it in for West Central at the end of the first overtime.
Yeah,
great
good
look. West Central will take that all day. They played a good period. They fought back hard in this game. Once again, Williamsville pregame show brought to you by Elite Lawn Care. Wade Muller at westtownford.com and Top Tier Springfield. Let's go ahead and take a look at the bracket. We've taken a look at this a lot. Williamsville and Phillips, Byron, Benton, those are your 2A games here. Byron and Benton, I think that'll be a very close game. Benton has one of the best defenses in the state of Illinois as far as points given up. So Byron, who's usually a higher scoring team, kind of looking at their team coming in right now, and they got some size on them. Based on their football skills, kind of what you expect. But nonetheless, Williamsville's got to take care of Phillips, and it's a tall task.
It is. Looking at Max Preps, I mean, they've got some good, notable wins. They beat Lanphier, some local teams, by 15, and then they beat Southeast by 25. So some bigger schools around the Springfield area. They had their way with them. Obviously, you look at their two best players, Lawrence Horton and Amari Edwards, averaging 20 and 16 respectively, and they are athletic, they're long, and they could score on all three levels. So for Williamsville tonight, it's going to be a tall task to try and contain those two players. We know they have a high-powered offense, like the running gun a lot, and this 1-3-1's got to learn how to take away some of those looks that normally they would get in a standard man-to-man offense.
Yeah, but when you look at last game, though, the 1-3-1 in the first quarter, you were like, oh my God, this team knows how to figure it out and how to play against it. And then in the second half, they gave up what, like 16 points in the last three quarters.
Yes.
So 16.
16 in the first, and then they had 16 the rest of the game.
I mean, you look at that and you're like, well, maybe the 1-3-1 does work. And this Phillips team likes to get out and run. They like to run and gun and all that we've talked about. And I think if the 1-3-1 can slow them down and make them set up an offense and have an offensive plan, it might slow them down on the offensive end and give Williamsville a chance to stay in it.
I agree.
Macomb, they got out to a pretty big lead, and Williamsville fought back in it. And it's kind of just like what Beard was saying in that 1450 Sports Radio 1450. They showed the clips of the 1991 run when they got down by, I believe, it was 15 points. And that game was here at State because the Elite Eight used to go to the state tournament, but now it's a super sectional is what they do. And Kerry McVickers, who was the coach at the time, told Coach Beard, if you ever get in that position, you got to fight out of it, stick to your game plan. And Coach Beard definitely took that to heart. And I think Williams was able to kind of use that. Today, it might be tough from the start, but how is Phillips going to come out against the 1-3-1? That's a major storyline, and I've said it a lot, and I'll keep saying it. How Williamsville's defense plays is going to have massive implications on whether or not they're going to pull this off or not. Because this, I say pull it off, but really this would be a massive upset because Phillips, they are a juggernaut. They play in the Chicago Public Schools. They're a running gun team. They're a team that you would expect to be here at the state tournament. So, Williamsville didn't expect anything else.
And I agree. The way they're probably going to attack this 1-3-1 is using their speed and athleticism, getting through those double teams, getting through those traps. Going to have to work the ball a little bit more than normal, but, when you have elite players that are more, isolation type players can beat you with their raw skill, it's going to be harder in the 1-3-1. So for them, they're going to have to learn to split double teams, get in the lane quicker with that the one at the bottom. It's going to be, pretty integral if Carson Kohler can defend that. Obviously, Brayden Saling down there too. So for Phillips, look to get the ball inside, look to split those double teams, and maybe you'll find a crack in this elite 1-3-1 defense that's gotten us to Champaign.
E.J. Horton, who's number 2 for the Wildcats for Phillips, he's averaging almost 21 points a game. That kind of shows you something there as he's one of their main scorers. Amari Edwards, who's number 1, averages 16.4 points per game. And then their head coach is a first-year guy, so this is his first trip to state. Obviously Beard, first trip to state, you got 2 coaches who are here for the first time, a little inexperienced.
100%, and you look at Coach Beard, the sectional championship, and that was new territory for him, and for them able to get past that adversity against Macomb in the super sectional, for them to make it all the way here, it's a testament of how well he's able to coach and not worry his players and worry about the score. They just keep working, and they, like you said, we kept chopping at that lead, and eventually the lead was ours and time ran out. So for Williamsville, they won't worry here in the face of adversity, just like they haven't all season. They'll continue to play together as a team, and if the ball rolls their way from deep, we got a good one here at State Farm Center.
Yeah, looking at the 1A game right now, West Central under a minute. They lead by 2 points. Currently having the ball. And number 2, might as well do a little play-by-play, is Mason Berry. He'll kick it out. It's going to be Severs. Severs will be fouled on the floor by Aurora Christian. So they're going to still have it. And West Central kind of looking like they're stalling currently. This isn't even the game we're covering, but I feel like this is a good enough game that we might as well tell people. We have enough time to where I think we can let people know what's happening here. This is a really good game. Severs goes to the line, and Severs, if I remember correctly, had a pretty good game against Williamsville back in December.
67-65, so.
Severs hits it, and they're up by 3 points with 47 seconds remaining here in the 6th period. Double overtime.
That's huge, and West Central coming back down from 7 at the end of the 4th, and they're able to tie it, keep it within 1 score all overtime, tie it again, and now they're in double overtime with a chance to go up 2 possessions. So,
I hope that the Williamsville game is this good. We're going to take yet another quick break. We'll be back. Maybe by that point we'll have a conclusion in this one. Welcome back to the Williams-Wire Live Wire broadcast here in Champaign, and West Central's moving on to the state title game on Saturday, with a 4-point victory over Aurora Christian in comeback fashion. They were down as much as 7 points at the beginning of the fourth quarter. They pull it out. Once again here, Williams-Wire pregame show brought to you by Elite Lawn Care, Wade Muller at WesttownFord.com, and top-tier Springfield guys. Williamsville's in the semifinal. What's the keys to the game?
Again, you know, Phillips is a run-and-gun team, and they like to get out and they like to attack early, and they like to get it early in the offensive possession. So for Williamsville, the keys tonight, you got to live by the 1-3-1. It's what got you here. Create turnovers and limit their high-powered offense. What I mean by that is you got to get ball pressure, you got to trap, you got to make sure they don't get around you with their speed and athleticism, and the 1-3-1 is perfect for that with the length on the wings of Bodine and Timm, and then obviously Thomas up on the point, and then Saling running the baseline with Kohler in the middle. It is a good defense to try and curve that athleticism that Chicago Phillips has, and for Williamsville offensively, have good ball security. You got to take care of the ball. You can't let them get turnovers and fast break buckets, because that's how they thrive offensively. So Brecken Thomas is going to have to take care of the ball. Brayden Saling going to have to take care of the ball. Obviously, all your guards are going to have to take care of the ball. Carson Kohler needs to know when to shoot it and when not to shoot it and pass back out, but you got to have good passes. Obviously, you know, you got to shoot from the high school line. I mean, that's square one. We saw against Illinois College at West Central that we were shooting from the college three-point line, and I think that kind of messed with their head a little bit, those two lines.
I think we airballed like at least 10 times.
And they were all short. And then once we stepped up from the line, they were all long, and I just feel like we didn't adjust well to that. So go ahead and shoot from the actual high school line, which is the white line on here, and obviously it have a higher percentage going in than normal. So for Williamsville, got to shoot from the white line, and obviously you're letting your shooters know, Timm, Brayden Saling, that you can do that. And obviously, you know, last key, play your game. Play what got you here. Play loose. Have fun. Don't play not to lose, play to win. Go take your offensive buckets and create your turnovers, and you'll have success in this game and possibly a huge upset in the semifinal game where you are once again the underdogs.
Yeah, like you said, live and die by the 1-3-1, you know. That's what got them here, and I mean, that's what's going to take you to the promised land if you're going to win this game. Ever since they've run the 1-3-1, their defense has been outstanding, and the main key is that, you know, they earlier in the season and before the 1-3-1, they were living and dying by Brayden Saling's offense. And if Brayden Saling was having an off night, the Bullets weren't winning. That was just, it just wasn't possible. They were not going to win the game. So since they switched to the 1-3-1, it's been defense turning into offense, and it's turned into an offensive explosion for them since they went to that. So, you know, live and die by that, and keep feeding Brecken Thomas. You know, he needs to keep playing his game. Timm, let's get him back into his shooting, what he's been doing from three since the playoffs, and Brayden Saling knocking down shots. Carson Kohler being big underneath. He's got a big test tonight. So live and die by the 1-3-1, and just like Colin said, play loose, play your game, and have fun. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity.
You know, Phillips is going to play a full court man-to-man pressure kind of offense. But you look at their roster, their big guy is
6'6".
6'6". It's Claude Mapumba, and he's a guy that doesn't really contribute as much to their defense as other guys on their team. I think Williamsville can kind of use that to their advantage. He's a big guy. I think Williamsville, if they're able to kind of work around them, you know, we know Phillips is going to be a fast team other than Mapumba. So if they're able to, you know, kind of even on like guys like Michael White, you know, Amari Edwards, if they're kind of still able to keep up the pace with them, I think they're going to have a pretty good night. Carson Kohler is going to be big. Rebounding is going to be huge. You know, you can't give the teams like this second chances.
Obviously, like you said, they're a run-and-gun team, and Mapumba, the 6'6", 250 sophomore. Keep in mind, he's a sophomore, and he's that big, so almost Jacob Finley-esque there, and if he keeps growing, but he's slow up and down the court. There's no other way to put it. He is slow up and down the court, but once he gets there and is able to get set in an offense, he is a force to be reckoned with. Looking at their film, he is a big body. So Kohler, again, his physicality needs to be on display here tonight if they want to contain him. And obviously the tallest guy on the court, no matter who Williamsville puts in, or Phillips puts in for that matter, he will always be the tallest on the court. So Carson Kohler, big game, big physical game from him.
Absolutely, and
Captain Bullock giving us some fist bumps here.
I watched a little bit of one of their games they had on YouTube, and they were playing Kenwood Academy. Now, Williamsville is not Kenwood Academy,
No.
but Phillips was getting doubled on the wings, which is exactly what Williamsville does, and they looked lost. They looked like out of sync and out of what they want to do. And they were getting doubled, and they were throwing the ball around and losing the ball. So I think if Williamsville has active hands and plays as hard as they possibly can for 32 minutes and on the defensive end, then I think they have a chance in this one. They just got to slow them down. Like they want to run as fast as they possibly can and go get a layup in 5 seconds. They run a 7-second offense or less, honestly. So that's what they want to do. But if you double them and slow them down, they might get out of rhythm. And like you said about the Mapumba.
Yes,
Mapumba, whatever. He's slow for sure, but he's big. So getting rebounds over him and running, we need to run on the offensive end because he can't get back fast enough. So that'll be a 4-on-5 opportunity. So that's my keys to the game.
We'll take a quick break here on the Williamsville Wire. We think we've got somewhere in the range of 30 to 45 minutes till tip-off. So trying to space this pregame show out. Like I said, stay wired in throughout the game. Live coverage continues all day. Welcome back to the Williamsville Wire. Kind of an extended break there. Time still hasn't run off, so like we said, 2:45 was kind of our original thought, but it's actually looking more like 3 o'clock start is what we're thinking. You know, no fans in here yet, so kind of a delay with double overtime and how the IHSA state finals does it. They do it in 3 sessions, so once one session leaves, which they got to clear the entire place, and then the second session will come in, which is the 2A. So you'll be here for the 2A, and then after that, it's the third place matchups. So
that's how you do tickets. It's all by session. So session 1, 2, and 3 Thursday, 1, 2, and 3 Friday, and obviously Saturday, the state champions game, 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, absolutely. Once again, Williamsville Wire pregame show brought to you by Elite Lawn Care, Wade Muller at WesttownFord.com, and Top Tier Springfield. Once again, looking at the bracket. Williamsville Phillips to play like we've been waiting on, and then Byron and Benton will play afterwards, and then after that will be third place games, which if Williamsville does in fact play in a third place matchup, Williamsville Wire will be here having coverage. That game is scheduled to start at 8:15, but
with the delays, we're not
I
certain.
would look at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
As Williamsville looks to actually take the floor here.
It's going to be a late night, and Williamsville taking the floor, students starting to fill in, and obviously fans as well. Curious to see what side they'll be on. I would imagine they would be on the side that we're on, this little section back here, but you never know. And
Williamsville is in white, so they are the home team on the scoreboard. And that's basically it.
Yeah.
That's all you get. White jerseys, and then you get home team on the scoreboard. They're actually going back to the tunnel because they're not supposed to be out here.
All right, well.
Still delayed. Colin, a trip over, had an interesting ride. The wreck happened in front of us as I-72 turns into University
Avenue.
So kind of a scary situation, but
we
EMT Kyle Hubner was there. He actually helped the system, so we thank Kyle Hubner for that.
I did. It was pretty scary.
Yeah, we were stuck there for probably good 30 minutes, 45 minutes, just staying still. I mean, we got out, tried to see if we could help. Obviously, didn't do much. Hubie actually helped quite a bit, but
helped a little bit.
I didn't do anything.
Helped a little bit.
All we
could do was help till the cops
We got there before
there.
the police, and a little too late. Someone else already called the police, so couldn't really do much about it.
But interesting ride over, but nonetheless, this is going to be a big one. So
it's a big one. Williamsville. If they win, they're going to have, or if they win at all in the state tournament, they're going to have the best finish in program history. So that's definitely a goal for Williamsville here. Regardless of what happens today, I think Williamsville fans can be happy with this outcome. Like I said, regardless of whether they're getting
fourth or first.
Fourth, yeah, right.
And
really, that might be, what it is. If Williamsville, I've kind of been saying, Williamsville, I don't think can really lose a close game right now. I think, they could, but obviously, based on what they're doing, it's not likely. I think they pull out a lot of close games right now. I think if Phillips is beating Williams, I think they're beating them pretty solidly. I think they're beating them by 10 points or so, maybe even more than that. If they got to control the game, because if they let Williamsville back in it, the magic is there. The Bullets have this March magic. And there's only a handful of teams that have it, every single year, and Williamsville is certainly one of them.
Yeah, I saw. I was talking to somebody the other day, and I said, we were talking, and I was just like, I can't picture them losing right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
Like this Cinderella run is so special and so unbelievable that you just don't. You can't imagine the Bullets losing right now. Now, it can definitely happen because Phillips is – I mean, you're in the state –
unbelievable talent.
You're in the state tournament. Anything can happen. You know what I'm saying? And every team here is just as good as anybody else. So, I mean, anything can happen, but you just don't – you can't really picture Williamsville losing right now. But I think you're right, Nathan. It's either going to be a close Bullet win or it's going to be a 10-point Phillips win. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, it's just how it feels. I mean – there's a lot of different ways that this game can go, but I like Williamsville. I've always said this during the postseason. I like their chances. Even that stays true today, as a lot more of the student section looks like they're coming in for the Bullets. Haven't seen anyone from Phillips yet coming in here, but look, Williamsville. This has been a magical run for the ages.
Obviously, you look at this team and. This is the biggest stage they're going to play on in high school. There's no bigger stage than maybe the state championship. But regardless, you're on this court and you are playing on the biggest stage that you can possibly play in. So for Williamsville, just go out. Just go out and play the game you played, and have fun and do what got you here. And that, I know it's tough when the nerves are flying. We had some of those first game jitters when it was 16-3 at Macomb, and you know, I think we finally snapped out of it and said, hey, this is real, and we gotta turn up and we gotta play our game. But I still feel like they played so loose, and even in the face of adversity, they really never wavered. So for Williamsville to be able to come in tonight and have virtually no pressure. I mean, they're an underdog. They're a Cinderella, and that's how Cinderellas work. You're not supposed to be here, but in fact, we are. Yes. And you just got to play with that fire and that passion that got you here, and we'll see what happens from there on out.
I don't think there's one person, if you look at our bracket, that thought Williamsville would be here. You know, you're picturing Peoria Manual here, and, you know, you get credit Macomb. That was a historic win for them.
It was, yes.
And you give a lot of credit to that program because Macomb's high school, I don't believe, has ever gotten a trophy as a team sport, and that was a devastating loss that they suffered at the BOS Center. You know, Williamsville came back and got them, and it's kind of ironic in the way that it happened because that's how Macomb stayed alive against Peoria Manual, you know, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of deja vu for Macomb because you saw in the Manual game where Manual, you know, they just they just, you know, held the ball. They waited for a shot, and they got bad shots off of it, and they really weren't able to convert. What that does is
when your offense is clicking, which it certainly was with guys like Case, guys like Dion Doyle, you know, when you're not shooting anymore, you go cold.
Correct.
So then when you need your offense, then
it's non-existent.
You're right, it's non-existent.
So, yeah, I mean, you look at Manual, I mean, they were holding the ball, missed 15 free throws too, so that's also was a thing to watch there. And then Macomb comes in, wins the sectional championship over Rockridge, which probably would have been a worse matchup for Williamsville. Rockridge would have been.
I agree. And Macomb really took it to him.
I mean, I think it was a 10-point victory, 13
it was more than that. Yeah,
but,
13 maybe. I think it may have been a 15-point victory.
But regardless,
for the Bombers.
I mean, and then they head into the super sectional facing Williamsville. They get out to a 16-3 lead, and at the end of the first, and they get stagnant and they hold the ball. And I don't think their coach, you know, after the Manual game would be a proponent of that, and they were, and to Williamsville's obvious advantage. So for Macomb, you know, to come out, slow the tempo, Williamsville's defense was able to feast, and we said on the broadcast, just chip away. One shot, 1-3 is all we needed, and Brecken Thomas, Mr. March hit it, and really it was smooth sailing from there. We had the fire lit in our stomachs, and we ended up winning and pulling off, and that's the reason why we're here tonight.
And if, like I said, if Williamsville falls here in this game, third place, 8:15 is what it's scheduled. I'm sure it'll be later. We'll have live coverage, probably another pregame show. But how tough is that going to be, you know, for Williamsville? You're already tired because you're playing such a fast-paced defense with the 1-3-1. Now you got to play twice. And by the way, the state tournament, you used to have to play 2 games if you were the champion. You used to play the semi and the championship in the same day, semi and the third place in the same day, just like it is now. But that definitely changes. Yeah. So it used to be kind of like who was the most conditioned, who had the most endurance. Now it's, okay, let's give them a couple days here. You know, let's get it back. But I remember my mom talking about Mount Pulaski made a couple state runs in the 70s and 80s, and you know how tough it was to play that second game. May have costed them a state championship, and who knows, maybe it helped them in 76 when they did win. But you know, for Williamsville, you know, you're focusing on this first one. You get it. It's going to be a historic day, I think. We're going to take yet another quick break here. Williamsville Wire pregame show continues, like we've been saying, probably about 30 minutes until tip-off, so we'll kind of be coming and going. Just pay attention. Also follow us on Twitter. We'll have live updates there as well. Welcome back to the Williamsville Wire. The teams have taken the court. Like we said, 3 o'clock was a pretty good estimate. 16:35 remains till the game begins. So Chicago Phillips is 23-9, taking on the Williamsville Bullets, 26-9 here at State Farm Arena in Champaign, Urbana, Illinois, at the campus of University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign. Colin Burge, Kyle Hubner, Gavin Shuffler. I'm Nathan Simcoe. Guys, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. What's the feels?
Big game, a big game feel. I think I've said this in every game in the playoffs so far, well, since sectionals, but it's got that big game feel, and just stepping into this arena, you feel the big game. Big game in the first game, and this is obviously humongous. So, biggest game the Bullets have ever played, and I'm looking forward to it, Nate.
I mean, this is just an electric environment, no matter how many fans are in the stands, just the sheer size of this beautiful college basketball arena at the University of Illinois. And really, it's a surreal place to be a part of the state tournament. These kids will remember it for the rest of their lives, and I know I'll remember broadcasting here courtside for the rest of our lives as both teams are taking the floor. Both teams look to be locked in, and they're going to need huge games from their star players, most notably on Phillips, Amari Edwards and Lawrence Horton, both juniors that can score at will. Horton 6'2", 180, and Amari Edwards 5'9", 145, but he's got the intangibles, the ball skills, the leadership you need for a basketball team, and we'll see how well they're able to combat this Bullet 1-3-1 defense. And for Williamsville on the other end, obviously you need your shooters. Brayden Saling and Garrett Timm have big nights. Obviously Brecken Thomas as well. He's able to create his own shots and take care of the ball effectively. Phillips is going to have their hands tied on offense, and we already know what the defense can do. And if they're not able to get comfortable in the half-court offense, this could be huge news for the Williamsville Bullets.
Yeah, now that we're on the court, you see Puma, and he looks even bigger than advertised. I mean, good Lord. He is a big kid. He is huge, and he's going to be a force to reckon with. But again, like we said, he's slow. He's really slow, and he gets tired really fast. So watch like 3-4 trips down the floor, and he's going to be slow getting back, and that's going to take a toll on Phillips' game, because they're going to have to wait. They're going to have to slow down to set up an offense, because he's going to have to get involved, because we're going to slow him down with the 1-3-1. And in the 1-3-1, you want to get the ball inside. So they're going to have to wait for him to get down the court, and so that's going to slow them down, and that's advantage Williamsville.
Absolutely.
For sure.
You look at Williamsville; they've been outsized in every single playoff game. I think they were even outsized against Tri-City, so nothing different.
I don't really think they're outsized, other than Puma.
When you
look at the roster,
I would say they're outsized.
When you look at the roster, though, we've got 5'10", 5'9", 6'2", 6'4", and 6'6" as starters.
They're outsized.
And Williamsville has 5'11", 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", 6'2". So, and Puma, I mean, they're not really that much outside in Puma. I mean,
I
really.
agree. I mean, that's generally. We're going to have to shoot. I mean,
obviously, lights out.
Shoot. We're going to have to, especially down the stretch, we're going to have to shoot. We're going to have struggles right off the bat. And if we're not, then we're in good shape, really good shape. Yeah. But if we're fixing stuff as we go along, I think that's also a good sign. Brayden Saling, Phillips has done their scouting. They know Brayden Saling's our, leading scorer. And by the way, I have some stats, so we can pull those up. Brayden Saling averaging 13.3 points a game. Brecken Thomas 9.1. And obviously, in the playoffs, that's different. But Carson Kohler 8.3, Braden Scott 4, Reed 3, and Reed Bodine in the playoffs is averaging even more than that. Garrett Timm, like I said, in the playoffs more than that, but he's at 5.4 points per game. Field goal percentages across the board: Saling at 45, Thomas at 36, Kohler at 55. Obviously, the big man going to have the highest percentage. Scott at 42, Reed Bodine 43, and in the playoffs, once again, higher Garrett Timm in the playoffs higher, but he's at 39 rebounds a game. Leading the charge is Carson Kohler with almost 9 rebounds a game. They're at 8.9. Now the percentages come out. Brayden Saling at 3.1. Brecken Thomas 3.3. Braden Scott 2.4. Reed Bodine 2.4. And Garrett Timm 1 rebound a game. So the last game, the key rebounder was Braden Scott, and he's only at 2.4. So that shows you that he can be a key rebounder for the Bullets.
And he uses his size and athleticism and his length to go up and really grab those boards and make sure he's get 2 hands on him. I mean, he can grab quite a few, as we saw in Macomb. Really out-jumped the entire Macomb team and really worked for those defensive rebounds, and that created opportunities on offense for Williamsville. So, again, rebounding, a big key, especially with the height disadvantage that Phillips brings to the Bullets. Be interesting to see how Kohler rebounds, and as well as the other, longer guards, Bodine, obviously, and Timm. Saling really doesn't get in the rebounding too much, besides long, off the back iron. But again, gonna have to rebound, gonna have to play a complete basketball game, especially this deep into the playoffs. You got one more game to win, and you're in the state champion, and that's all. That's as far as you can go. So.
You got to leave it all out on the floor. We're going to take another quick break here, Williams. While our pregame show continues, the Bullets and Phillips are on the floor warming up. The fans are starting to come in. It's going to be an electric afternoon here in Champaign. Welcome back, Champaign-Urbana. Once in a lifetime opportunity here for the Williamsville Wire. Once again, want to thank all of the supporters throughout the season and our sponsors, of course, which Elite Lawn Care, Wade Muller at westtownford.com, and Top Tier Springfield. The Bullets are on the floor and they're warming up. Beautiful white jerseys. Probably the brightest court Williamsville's played on all season. Great lighting here. You two are staunch Illinois basketball fans. You guys have watched a number of games here. How does this feel?
It's really
surreal.
Cool.
I mean,
met Sincere Harris earlier, point guard for Illinois, so that was cool.
We did.
Isn't he a red shirt?
Got a little picture.
He is.
Yeah.
He said Coleman Hawkins and Terrence Shannon, 2 senior starters for the Illini, will be in attendance today, so we'll hopefully get to talk to them as well. But this is a very surreal experience.
I mean, you know, looking obviously TSJ from Illinois, Sincere Harris, I believe. He's not from Illinois, but Hawkins from California. So really just a blend of people who like to watch basketball and obviously Illinois, some people who have played here.
Yeah.
And obviously in college, but as high school as well. So very interesting, and very fortunate to be down here courtside. Last time I think I was courtside was during the John Gross era of, we played Florida Gulf Coast University, and it was a bye game, and I sat 3 rows behind me, and that was the closest I've ever been in the court.
There you go.
Back when we weren't very good, so the tickets were pretty cheap.
Very cheap.
So that's the closest I've been, and now I'm actually getting to walk on the court and speak to people, speak to players, and feel like a VIP, so very fortunate.
Looking at Chicago Phillips key games season, if you weren't joining us for the pregame show earlier, which was an extended pregame. West Central, by the way, also got a 4-point double overtime victory over Aurora Christian, so they're heading to the state title game in West Central. They played in that infamous game at Illinois College where Blake Scheffler went down, kind of the start of what we thought was the end, but it actually was the start of a new era of Williamsville basketball, which led to the 1-3-1, which led to the Williamsville basketball program making its 2nd ever state run. Key games for Phillips, they lost to Quincy in the first game of the year by 11 points, and Quincy, who is a juggernaut. I mean, there's no other way to put that. They're one heck of a team, D1 talent all over the place. They beat Lanphier in a shootout also early in the year, 84-69. They lost to Simeon and their Chicago Public School Conference play, 71-67. Then they lost to Richwoods, who Richwood is in 3A playing in the state basketball tournament.
Yeah, they beat Thornton with a Illinois commit Morris Johnson, and they looked on fire. I mean, they really shut them down defensively and really paved the way offensively, score some buckets, and they look
Richwoods,
solid.
they beat. Thornton was ranked, I believe, 3rd in the state, in the entire state of Illinois in the AP poll. So that shows you how good of a team they are. And then they also beat Southeast, another Springfield school, 88-63. Then, of course, last week they beat undefeated Beecher, 73-58. They've got 1 state championship in their school history. They have 2 state runs prior to this year, so this is their 3rd. We're going to take a quick break here on the Williamsville Wire. We believe Anthem and Starters is coming up, so we'll join you for the tip-off. Welcome back, Williamsville Wire live wire broadcast as the players come together to shake hands before the state basketball tournament semifinals begin. Williamsville starters on your screen right now. They've been what they've been the entire postseason. Garrett Timm, Brayden Saling, Brecken Thomas, Reed Bodine, and Carson Kohler, of course, at center. Brecken Thomas, Mr. March, playing in his first state finals. He's a first-year starter for Williamsville, guy who played JV last year, him and Carson Kohler. It's really unbelievable where they're at now. They look back on their time on JV and how they cherish that as players being able to grow into guys who are playing in the state final.
I mean, it's a Cinderella run, to put it that way. I mean, nobody thought this team, top to bottom, would end up in the state Final Four. No one. I don't think we did. I mean, you know, looking at this team in late January, I mean, they struggled. Like, there's no other way to put it. They struggled. Like, they dropped 3. They lost to Plains over at Plains. They lost to Prairie Central. Obviously, Prairie Central, great team, can shoot. But then you go home and you almost lose to Athens, and then you lose to Maroa Forsyth, both at home. So, I mean, there was a tough game skid there for this Bullets team, and the ability to run it back and, you know, just put their head down and work shows the coaching staff as well as the players that, look, we're here, we're going to make the best out of the rest of our season, and they certainly have. Heading into the postseason, implemented the infamous 1-3-1, and it's huge. It's just, I mean, it's really impressive for the turnaround that Williamsville has had, and they brought them to all the way to State Farm Center on the campus of the University of Illinois. Looks like they're announcing about everyone on the bench.
Yep, reserves first, starters after that. Wow, this is really cool.
It's cool that Blake
Scheffler got announced, which is really cool for him. I mean, I was talking to Brecken Thomas's dad, and when he was having a conversation with Blake, and he was like, "Man, we came all this way, and you know, we were like, would you be ready by state?" And you know, it was kind of joking there. Blake, would he be ready by state? You know, obviously the longest time that Williams has ever been playing. So.
I mean,
he'll be back next year.
It's special. Phillips.
Starters for Chicago Phillips, Michael White Jr., number 1, Amari Edwards, number 2, Lawrence Horton, number 15, Phoenix Childs, and number 24, Claude Mapumba.
So again, size disadvantage for Williamsville. Obviously, they look more skilled, and we've seen on the film that they can score in a variety of ways, but mainly they love to get up and down the court. So for Williamsville, they're going to have to take care of the basketball, prevent those easy fast break opportunities by Chicago Phillips. And if they're able to do that and maintain the high-level defense that they've been playing and make them uncomfortable, could be a close one here at the State Farm Center.
Yeah, this is going to be it's going to be a high-level basketball game for sure. That's what these two teams have played in the postseason. And I mean, I'm on the edge of my seat. I'm nervous. This is going to be. I mean, this is exciting. I'm excited to watch some really good basketball. I'm excited to watch my team play, but I'm excited more to just watch some really, really, really good basketball. And this is going to be one heck of a game, I think. I hope.
Yeah, you hope for Williamsville's sake, obviously. This got to just execute. I don't feel like they executed well against Macomb, and yet they still ended up on top.
No, that can't happen
again. That can't happen again. That 16-3 run in the first quarter can't happen for Williamsville as they set to take tip-off. But Williamsville, play to your strengths and play hard, play fast, and play what got you here.
Here we go. Carson Kohler going up against the big guy, Claude Puma. Puma's how you say his name, number 24 for Phillips. It's one of those games for Williamsville that's going to go down in history regardless of what happens.
And it is loud in here, and student sections taking their shirts off. They got bullets painted on their chest, and that's funny. And Mr. Smith over there, assistant principal, is loving it. He's smiling ear to ear. So
this is special, Colin.
I mean, this is special. A lot
really cool.
of Williamsville home fans. Obviously, a shorter drive than to Chicago, but showing out the Purple Storm student section. People still trying to get in the door, too.
Kohler's going to win it up against a 6'6" guy, and the Bullets will have the first possession of the game. It's Brayden Thomas up closely guarded by Horton. Thomas giving Kohler Saling near the free throw line. The jumper is short. It's going to be taken in by number 0, Michael White. He'll work it up the way for the Wildcats. He'll swing it. It's into the hands of Horton. Horton giving back. White driving in, swinging down low to Mapumba, and he's got it. Puma, tough basket there for Phillips.
And you're going to have to watch out for him. Obviously, a big body in the paint, can score at will, but you're going to have to find a way to contain him.
Kohler driving in. It's a tough, almost got a tough basket, but his layup is no good. It's up the way. It's Edwards. Edwards swinging back into the hands of White. White giving Childs for 3, and he drains it, and it's 5-0 early in this one.
Oh, a deep 3 there. I mean, that's as deep as they come for Childs, 6'4" junior, 190 pounds, and he gets that to go.
They knew they were an offensive team. They've struck in here early. The Bullets got to strike back. Saling right wing, giving out. Garrett Timm left wing, thought about shooting. Now a pull near the key. Shot, no good. Bodine, the tough rebound. He'll give out to Kohler. He'll reset it. Saling. Saling, Kohler near the free throw line. He'll give out to Bodine. Bodine's pass is tipped. Saling has it, shoots from 3. Shot is no good. Kohler, another tough rebound. And he'll have the first points of the game for the Bullets as he lays it in.
So again,
great job rebounding early.
I don't feel like Phillips goes up for boards as much as they should, so Williamsville should crash the basket if they can't make it, get some second chance points.
Edwards pulls from 3. Shot just no good, but Williamsville can't get it. It hit off Garrett Timm, then off Saling.
That's a tough one.
And the Phillips will have it. Williamsville really needed to pull that one down.
Haven't been able to stop them early except for that right there, so needed that rebound, but just keep playing defense, keep playing your game.
And if they want to take those deep shots, obviously we've seen
that's out of bounds.
There's a turnover. It's forced by Williamsville. Horton throwing. He was looking for White. It's out of bounds. The Bullets get it back. They're down by 3. Obviously 6:15 remaining in the first.
Saw them hit a deep 3 earlier, but if they want to keep taking those, we'll take our chances unless they are absolutely scorching hot from there.
Thomas swinging to Saling. What a great pass, and he lays it in off the glass.
Great offense early.
So Saling,
Phillips is
defense. Talk about a pass from Brayden Thomas. I mean, you got to have a lot of trust.
Yeah, Phillips' defense does not look like they put a lot of effort into it. Looks like, I mean, almost NBA style
It's a full court man. White swinging wide open. Puma down low gets it in, so
it's going to be probably too easy.
Yeah, that's way too easy. So Phillips early has definitely crashed the 1-through-1 in certain ways.
Yeah, but
Bullets once again find themselves down early, but they're not scoreless like last game. Kohler, he'll give it. Thomas right wing, now work back towards the key. Giving off to Kohler, he's guarded by Puma. Kohler driving in, he lost it for a moment. Now he's trying to go over the big man, but he's stuffed away, and that's not going to work today. It's up into the front court. Horton guarded by Saling. Now it's Thomas coming up to play defense in the 1-through-1, and he'll give it back across the way.
Not the shot Kohler needed there.
Edwards swinging left corner. Horton driving in, mid-range jumper looks off. It is Williams going to be able to pull it down. It's Kohler, a tough rebound. Thomas into the front court. 4:55 remaining in the first.
Great defense there by Bodine, able to get hands in the face.
Saling and Timm trading it. Now it's Kohler near the key, giving off to Saling. Saling to Thomas, right wing, guarded by Edwards. Thomas near midcourt's got to watch himself. He got a little close for comfort. Thomas swinging Kohler near the free throw line off. Saling thought about pulling near the left wing. Now has to get it back out. He'll give it to Kohler. I think he was looking for Timm. Timm has it. It's tipped. Kohler not able to pull it down, but Saling has it, looking for Bodine, and it's a turnover. Phillips gets the stop, and he's going to be fouled by Bodine, who just gets a little too handsy with number 2, Horton.
Didn't see Lawrence Horton there, and Horton able to get the steal. Good idea by Saling to try and find Bodine on the right block. Just a little slow pass, and Horton was able to react.
Yeah, Saling, that's a possession for Williamsville, especially with some Phillips defenders kind of going into their front court, you know, because they thought they were going to get it. Saling able to find it. Williamsville should have probably taken advantage of that. Deep 3 by Edwards, pulled, no good. Williamsville out of bounds. They've got it after it goes out of bounds off number 0, Michael White Jr.
And for Phillips, I mean, Amari Edwards, that's not a shot you need. That's a deep, deep 3, and it almost went in, but again, how many of those are they going to make? We don't know until they actually shoot him.
Kohler
but for
bringing it
Williamsville,
up the floor for a moment. Now he'll give off to Saling. This time loosely guarded by White. Now he's closely guarded. He'll give off to the point guard, Brayden Thomas, playing this role for the first time in his career, but he's done a great job. Now we'll give it to Kohler. Kohler, Saling, right wing, pops a three and ties the game.
And so Saling getting out of his shooting slump. He's 1 for 2 so far. If he's able to hit, then Phillips is in trouble.
Edwards swinging. Horton. The Bullets have their first three there. It's stolen away, but they're going to get it back. It's Puma. Puma swinging. Edwards giving down to Horton. He drives in, but he's going to be fouled. 2 shots are coming up.
Yeah, Phillips has been able to break the 1-3-1 and has done a pretty good job so far. But on the other side, I mean, our offense has been so spectacular and so good that we're right in this game, 7-7 at the first TV timeout. You'll take that if you're waiting.
Yep, it's a timeout. Full timeouts taken by Phillips. 2 shots coming up. We will be back. Welcome back to the Williamsville Wire. 2 shots coming up for Phillips.
And Lawrence Horton at the line, so we'll see what he can do from the charity stripe. But these media timeouts, we're unusual to them, obviously, because this game's on TV. The media timeouts need to happen to get the commercials in, but Horton's first is no good, and that proves to be beneficial for Williamsville. Those media timeouts where you're sprinting all over the place in that 1-3-1, I feel like our guys get gassed, but now with those extra timeouts built in, then they could get their rest and still play that elite defense.
Second, the first one was no good. The second is, so Phillips a 1-point lead. Bodine's got to get it in. It's tipped. Bodine's able to save it. Saling has it, so that could have been disastrous. Saling up to Kohler, and you just got to take care of the ball if you're Williamsville. Kohler, he'll give it up to Saling. Saling this time closely guarded by White, giving to Thomas. Up this time guarded by Horton. Thomas swinging. Kohler near the key, giving out. Thomas in the right corner. Brayden Thomas out to Saling. Saling down to Kohler, right block. This time closely guarded by Puma. Kohler driving in on Puma. The reverse layup is good. That's a big-time layup by a big-time player.
And he did a great job by letting the rim be his protection. His rim was the protection there from the 6'6" center.
Horton, he'll give it across the way. It's Edwards. Edwards swinging White. White driving in, now giving out to Horton in the left corner. 2:45 remain. Shot from 3. Childs, no good. Puma able to pull it down. The Bullets get it back.
So again, going back to that Carson Kohler offensive possession, Kohler is able to use his speed to get around Puma and really show why
these inbound plays are crucial.
Is slow, and Kohler able to get the reverse layup. Big game out of him here tonight.
Now it's Saling into the front court. He's closely guarded. He'll give off to Thomas, this time guarded by Horton. Thomas swinging to Kohler, guarded by Puma. Carson Kohler's had a pretty good job today. Now it's Bodine out to Kohler in the right corner. Man, if Kohler could shoot a 3. Kohler's going to be fouled by Puma. That'll be his first of the game.
Yeah, Nathan, I'd like to add something for Bullets defense. It's kind of with him with Puma, it's kind of like a Zach Edey situation, like we just talked about off the break. But Zach Edey's bigger than everyone else on the court, and you let him score his 20 points, and you shut down the three-pointers and you shut down the guards, and that allows you to keep pace with him. So that's what they need to do.
Thomas has to get it in. It's tipped out of bounds. It's stolen away. It's yet another turnover, knocked out of bounds. They're going to say Phillips' ball as it's tipped out. So Williamsville there can't get it in. And inbound plays today have been a struggle for the Bullets, and that's got to change.
Continue.
Because if you have a headache every time you've got an inbound a ball, you can't really focus on setting up plays for your offense. Puma getting in. Thomas, no foul called in. It's a physical play. Edwards has it near the free throw line. He'll swing it out. Horton down to Childs. Childs to Puma out of bounds. It's off Bodine, so it'll stay with the Wildcats down low.
Good active use of hands there by Kohler. And if Puma brings the ball that low, Kohler should have a field day with those steals. Obviously, he went off Bodine's right leg, but he needs to corral that too.
Puma giving in. 3 shot by Horton. It's off the mark. And Phillips will pull it down. Out of bounds. They're going to say it went off Childs. The Bullets will get it back. 2 minutes remaining in the first.
I don't feel like Phillips right now is playing complete team basketball. I believe they're very individualistic.
There's your inbound play. It's into Kohler. Kohler's gotten almost every single inbound play. He'll give it to Thomas. Thomas lost it for a moment. Now he'll give out to Kohler. Kohler. And he's still handling the ball. He's not closely guarded. Getting to a cutting Thomas. Thomas to Bodine in the right corner. Driving in. Throws up a shot. Rebound. Kohler. What a bucket. And he's having one heck of a first quarter for the Bullets.
Kohler's playing like he needs to play. Strength is showing up for him big time.
White giving in. Horton driving. It's Edwards. And the jumper is good for the Wildcats.
Edwards getting back in the scoring column, and a little hitch when he goes up, but nothing but net there on the mid-range shot.
Bullets a 1-point lead. 1 minute and 23 seconds remain. Brecken Thomas has it. Williams will run in some clock here. Guarded by Horton. He'll give it off to Carson Kohler, left wing. Final minute. Thomas Saling left corner. Now he'll drive in. He's got to save it, but he stepped out of bounds. It's a turnover, and Chicago Phillips will have it. Brayden Scott checks in for Williamsville, and Griffin Watkins. That's a possession there for Williamsville that, you'd like to see them, something develop. But today, we knew coming into the day, Williamsville's going to have to take care of the ball. Phillips early hasn't exactly had the possessions they've wanted.
I know. They've, like I said, been playing very individualistic, taking long threes that they probably shouldn't. They need to move the ball more and try to find their big man inside.
Williamsville's defense has definitely been a factor in that, but White guarded by Thomas. He'll swing it across the way. It's Horton. Horton near the key, and a wide open Puma will give Phillips the lead.
So Watkins a little slow first step there, and Phillips able to take advantage, and then Puma easy basket.
One last shot maybe here for Williamsville. I haven't seen it called by Coach Beard, but we'll see it. 35 down to 34. Thomas guarded by Horton. Mr. March. Thomas scoreless so far, but they haven't needed him. Thomas driving in. Foul called. Puma, that's his second. 2 shots coming up for Thomas.
That's what I really like about Brecken's offensive game. He's not afraid to draw contact, and that's what he wants to do. He drives and he tries to create contact. And I think he knew when he went up on the 6'6" center, he probably was not, that shot was probably not going to go in, but he's just trying to get a foul on him and go to the line and sink these 2 free throws, which is what he's doing.
Foul's going on Horton. Thomas ties the game at the line.
So it's on Horton and not
Puma only has 1, and that's good for Phillips that foul didn't go on their big man.
Yeah, 100%.
2 fouls in the first corner isn't exactly what you want.
It's a Carson Kohler type stat to put in there, but like you said, UB Brecken is able to get to the rim with efficiency and finish their contact. Saw it against Alton Marquette.
Second one's no good. 12-12, 22 seconds remaining. And here's number 1, Edwards. Edwards, a point guard for Phillips, guarded by Brecken Thomas in the 1-3-1. He'll work across the way. He'll kick it out. It's Horton. Horton swinging. White shoots from 3. Shots no good. Puma's able to pull it down, and he'll lay it in. 6 seconds remain. Williamsville, he said don't throw it in, but he will to Saling. That is the end of the first quarter. Phillips has a 2-point lead over Williamsville, but Williamsville's in it. If that first quarter doesn't prove that Williamsville can hang with the elite Chicago school, then I don't know what does. They're battling. They're going to have to battle all night. We'll take a quick break here on the Williamsville Wire. We'll be back.
Yes.
Welcome back to the Williamsville Wire. Williamsville has the ball to start.
And Williamsville, good
Second
quarter
quarter
there on offense, really exploiting that big man in Puma's lack of quickness on the defensive end. Carson Kohler, obviously.
And Phillips thinks it's their ball, and our scoreboard says it is, and it is. It is going to be Phillips' ball. So Gavin Shuffler's on the ball, and he's right. The score table is not.
Yep. Once
job,
again,
Gavin.
Gavin Shuffler.
Gavin
Good
Shuffler,
job.
yes, sir. He's joined the staff. The Bullets haven't lost since he's joined, so we had to keep him on. So hopefully that can continue. But here it is. The Phillips Wildcats have it. It's Edwards. He'll swing it. It's Horton. It's going to find a wide open man in the right corner, but his shot is no good. Thomas able to pull it, but he'll give it to Timm. Timm giving to Saling. He'll work it up the way. Scott driving in, fouled on the floor. On the floor. Basket is no good.
Yeah, good call there.
Yeah, I don't mind it. It looks like
good take.
It's because
Good
the guy got on his back, and once he's on there, you can call a foul.
But that's a
and
good
that-
take by
yeah,
Kohler. That's
absolutely.
what, or not Kohler, Scott. That's what
yeah.
you want to see.
So Thomas taking it out of bounds. We'll see what kind of play they run here.
Thomas, he'll give it in. Kohler down. He's at 6. It's knocked out of his hands. A foul's going to be called. 2 shots coming up for the big man.
And you like the foul being called, but also at the same time, Scott was right there for the putback layup. So, again, offensive rebounding. We came into this game saying that was going to be huge because they have the 6'6" guy that's bigger than everyone else. But I think we've proved that we can out-hustle them and out-rebound them all day long.
First is no good for number 33, Carson Kohler, at the line for the Bullets. Free throws obviously going to be huge so far.
Yes. 110%.
Kohler second, also no good. It's going to be pulled down by Phillips, so Williamsville has a scoreless possession. It's into the front court. Edwards thought about driving in, but Phillips is mostly a dribble drive team. They shoot a lot of outside shots as well. It's going to be Horton in the corner. Shot no good.
That's what you want, man. Keep forcing them to shoot and keep forcing them to miss.
Yep. Thomas near the key. Swinging out. Garrett Timm pulls one.
Bang!
And he drills it, and the Bullets are back in front.
So Garrett Timm getting in finally off his shooting slump as well. Saling and Timm's got one apiece.
There we go.
Number 3 is Elijah Harris. He's fresh in the game for Phillips. He'll swing it. Amari Edwards. Edwards. Horton driving in mid-range. Puma foul's going to be called on Brayden Scott, and 2 shots will be coming up for number 15, Phoenix Childs.
That's fine. You'll take that. You'll take a foul there, slow everything down, catch your breath, and force them to make free throws.
Again, looking at the team stats, free throw percentage for Phillips, they're only 1 for 2, but we'll see what Childs can do here. Obviously, Scott got him on that hook on the arm, trying to drive inside, and ends up in 2 shots.
First one, no good.
So again, if they're not able to hit free throws, you can afford to foul him, especially with Scott, who comes on periodically for Bodine and Scott. So for him, 1 foul, not a big deal. 6:52 left to go in this half.
Second one here for Childs. After a miss, 6:52 remaining, and he sinks it. So we have a tie ball game here at State Farm Center. The Bullets battling. 6:45. Brecken Thomas will work it up the floor. He's closely guarded by Childs. He'll swing Kohler. Kohler down to Bodine. Bodine out to Timm, who just hit a 3, but he won't pull it this time. Timm's got to get rid of it. He's got a 5-second count. He will out to Kohler. Kohler sailing near the key. He'll give it off to Timm. Timm from the right wing pulls from 3 shots.
Looked
just
good.
no
Looked
good.
really good.
Good looking shot for
Just
Timm.
a little short.
Childs
And this is what they
into
do.
the front court, and he gets it. And
Childs and
I think
this
Beard
Phillips,
wanted him to take a charge.
this squad, I mean, they push the pace, and when they're able to score in transition, they do. And that time, good athletic take there from Phoenix Childs.
A great defensive play there. Horton tipping it out of bounds. Brecken Thomas was looking for Carson Kohler.
Williamsville obviously still in it, 2-point deficit, but
Match the pace. It's match the pace.
important to find some consistency on offense. It's been Kohler so far, but with Mpuma out, we'll see who else can step up.
Garrett Timm swinging. Thomas Saling pulls a deep 3, and it's just no good. It would have been huge for Williamsville, but it's another opportunity for Phillips to build up a 2-possession lead. It's going to be number 3, Elijah Harris. Harris swinging it. It almost went out of bounds. It's Ian Williams, who's fresh in the game. Giving back. Edwards driving in. Lost. Saling has it, and he'll work it into the front court for the Bullets in transition. It's up to Timm. Timm back to Saling. Saling will set it to Brecken Thomas, and he will be fouled. A little handsy there was number 3, Harris.
But again, great interior defense there by Kohler. His physical presence just, I mean, it is hard to match from guys on the bench, you know, who normally play his position, Sanders being the most often one. But when Kohler's on the floor, this team is just so much more physical. It's proven there on that possession.
Yeah, this defense it's special.
Yeah, no doubt. Thomas has it. He'll work it up for Williamsville. He'll give it to Saling, another backdoor cut, and he ties the game.
That play is called Titan, and Coach Beard has been running it for 6 years now, and they're able to sell the corner 3 for Garrett Timm. Saling on the cutting. Layup is good.
Horton driving in, takes an extra step. Mid-range jumper, no good. Kohler, a nice rebound. The Bullets have a chance to take the lead with 5 minutes remaining in the half. Thomas driving, another backdoor play for Saling. He'll kick it out. Timm pulls from 3. Shot, no good. Kohler can't bring it down, but it is into the hands of Horton. He'll bring it up for Phillips. Swinging, Edwards. Edwards down low. It's Williams fouled, and he's going to the line for 2 shots as his basket is no good through contact.
Kohler going to pick up that foul there. Kind of push in the back there. But Phillips really struggled from the line, 50% so far. So if you're able to only, limit them to a point in transition, which we talked about in the pregame, how they're able to score the majority of their points, that's huge.
And free throw shooting today for Phillips hasn't exactly been great. They're under 50%. Ian Williams misses the first one. 4 minutes, 52 seconds remaining in the half. Free throw shooting obviously crucial, especially in a tie game. His second is good. They have a 1-point lead. Williamsville has the ball. Saling. And you'll take that. You'll take those 1-point possessions.
Obviously, 1 is less than 2, so whenever you're able to get that, that's huge. And Williamsville, with a bucket, can take the lead still.
Thomas working down on Kohler. He's guarded by Williams, and he's going to lay it in.
Kohler has come so far.
He's at 8 points. He's leading the Bullets so far.
Really cool to see.
He'll swing it. It's into the hands of Horton. Pulls a deep 3. Shot no good, so shooting hasn't been there. Bodine, he will
needs to be smart.
Slow it down. He will. He's trapped. He'll turn it over, and it's into the hands of number 3, Elijah Harris. Harris guarded by Saling. He's going to pick up a foul there. The Bullets are battling here at State Farm Center. Williamsville has it. It's Bodine inbound. He's going to have some trouble here, but he'll give it into Saling. Saling closely guarded this time by White. It's a starter for Phillips. He'll get it into the front court. 3 minutes and 40 seconds remain. He'll give it off to Thomas. Thomas, the point guard, giving to Timm in the left corner. Picked up. Saling, Thomas, driving in, giving Kohler. Finds an open guy. It's Saling, pulls from 3, and it's well short.
Good ball movement, though.
Yeah,
good possession.
Great ball movement. That's the shots you want to take. It's White into the corner. Is number 5, Addison, swinging out. It's into the hands of White once again. He'll set up the offense to number 2. That's Horton. Horton, who averages 20 a game, down low. It's going to be number 15, Childs, and he'll lay it in. Phillips back in front.
Childs, when Puma's not in, really man in that middle, and he's a physical guy, can score at will inside. That time he gets it to go.
Saling closely guarded by White. Saling kicking it out. Brayden Thomas near the key, giving off Reed Bodine. Bodine giving it off to Thomas. And I think Beard's saying, get an open shot. Get an open shot.
Take something you like.
Yeah.
And obviously that Saling three-pointer was huge.
It's almost stolen away. Brayden Thomas has it. He'll give it off to Saling. Saling driving in. Left hooker is no good. Bodine, they're going to call a foul. He was going up for the rebound. Almost a jump ball, but he picks up, I believe, his 2nd of the game, so he'll probably have to come out of the game. Braden Scott back in. Bullets down by 1. Jackson Sanders also checks in for Carson Kohler. Carson Kohler has 2 fouls as well for Williamsville.
So again, smart move there. Put Sanders in. When Kohler has 2 fouls, man in the middle. And then Watkins in for his length and giving Garrett Timm a break.
Number 2 into the front court for Phillips. It's Horton. He'll swing it to White. It's almost out of bounds, but he's able to save it.
It might have been.
Yeah, it was close, but it's not called. It's going to be Addison driving in. He traveled. Bullets get it back after the turnover.
And Saling tried to take a charge there.
I thought I don't know if that's a rule. I don't know if it's a rule
No,
in high school, the
high
flop
school.
rule.
No.
I thought they were
Was it
going
a
to call
flop?
that.
Was it a
Absolutely.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the charge ring, which is in college.
No,
which is on the floor.
the flop down
the flop,
here.
yeah. Well, you know.
I mean, he's just trying to get
You're
a call.
taking it.
Respect
Nonetheless,
it.
Bullets
We
get it back.
respect
Timm, it's turned over right in the end of the hands of number 15, Phoenix Childs, and a basket doesn't get much easier than that. 30-second timeout called by Nick Beard. And Nick Beard does not like the inbounding play today. It's costed the Bullets some possessions and some points. So we'll take a quick break here on the Williamsville Wire. Timeout called by Coach Beard. 2 minutes and 11 seconds remain, down by 3. Welcome back. It's Bodine. He'll swing it into Saling, and they finally get it inbounded. And it's poke checked. Saling has it. Saling now has to rush into the front corner, and he does, and now he can slow it down with 2 minutes remaining. Saling giving off Brayden Thomas as they try and set up the Bullet offense. He's loosely guarded this time by White. Thomas.
No foul.
Thomas swinging. Kohler guarded by Horton. Saling has it near the right wing. He'll swing it down. Kohler trying to go to work down low, and a tough bucket, and he's already at 10.
He's playing really well right now. He came to play.
Kohler
He came to play.
The development this season have been tremendous. We kind of criticized him for his short game, but he's definitely improved.
Down low, a tough bucket. It's number 11, Ian Williams, and the Phillips offense is as good as advertised, even in some tough defense. It's definitely been a pretty good offensive game so far, if you like offense. Thomas, he's closely guarded now. Thomas making one-man miss. It's White. Thomas swinging it out. Garrett Timm, right wing, thought about shooting. He thought better of it. He'll swing it back to Thomas with a minute remaining. Kohler giving off. Saling working around the side, giving to the key. Now to Timm. Timm back to Saling. Saling will kick it to Kohler with 55 seconds.
Get your shot. Only down 3, but really don't need anything. Just get a bucket before half, maybe go 2 for 1.
Saling a mid-range jumper
Got it.
is good.
Great ball movement. I mean, they've done it all day. They're breaking the man. They're playing really well right now.
Saling not usually getting in on the mid-range game, usually floaters, but that time he sets his feet, gets it to go.
It's going to be Benjamin giving down. Horton's shot no good. Kohler pulls it down. He'll give it to Saling.
So again, like I said, this 2 for 1 opportunity, Phillips going a little bit
Huge
fast
for
like they're
momentum.
normally used to, and it ends up in favor of Williamsville. They can have a 4-point swing right here.
Last shot here for the Bullets are down
Big
by 1
possession.
point, 10 seconds. He's closely guarded by Childs. Thomas, left wing, trying to set up the final shot. Saling pulls a deep 3. Shot almost went in. That is going to end the first half. Williamsville down by 1 point.
Good first half. Really
Great
good first half. That is exactly how you want them to play. We out-hustled them, out-rebounded them. I honestly think we outplayed them. So that's a big first half. We really showed up ready to play. Carson Kohler, big game. So really good first half. Really good start for the Bullets.
You can live with this if you're Williamsville. It's been one heck of a season. They're battling all the way to the end if this is, but they're in it. They're in it to win it. Well, like I said, we'll be back right before the second half begins, maybe a couple minutes before, to talk about what we saw and maybe go over some stats. We'll be back. Welcome back to the Williamsville Wire here in Champaign, Urbana, State Farm Center. Williamsville Bullets down by 1 point to Chicago Phillips, a team that obviously was well advertised. Guys, what are the thoughts on the first half?
I was going to say, this is, obviously not the absolute best case scenario for Williamsville, but it also is at the same time. You're down 1, you're in a tight game, and Phillips, hasn't had that battle through much adversity this year, and Williamsville has. This is, Phillips doesn't, I don't think Phillips feels super comfortable in the 1-3-1 and under this, pressure and adversity that they're feeling. But Williamsville, that's where they live. That's where they're the most comfortable, is in a game like this, in adversity and battling back and trying to win a big one here. So I think, that's the pressure and the adversity is advantage Williamsville. And, this is going to be an entertaining second half, and we'll see if Williamsville can pull it off.
And even though their shooters really aren't hitting much early, you still got to close out because they at any time can turn it on like that. And if they're hitting shots, their offense is pretty much unstoppable no matter what defense you throw at them. And so far they haven't been able to, but once they're not able to, you got to convert offensively. You're going to have to score some points on the board and really separate yourselves when they have an empty possession. So for Williamsville here in the second half, it's all about getting hands in face of the shooter, obviously stopping the freight train and Claude Puma. Kohler's done a great job with him so far. Obviously, he's going to get his points, and you know that. But again, coming out in the second half, our ball, get a good, solid bucket here and really bring that intensity that you saw in the first half.
Reed Bodine's got to get it in. He will. It's to Brecken Thomas. Thomas works it into the front court. He's guarded by Phoenix Childs. Now it's Thomas, right wing. Got to by Bodine. Now he'll give it to Saling. He pops a three, and it's well short. His shot's been short all day.
But he shot from the college line.
Yep.
So he needs to step up.
He needs to step up, and that's something in a timeout that Beard can address. This time, Childs pulls a deep three. It's no good, and the shooting struggles for Phillips continues. It'll be Thomas into the front court. Working up to an open Kohler. Kohler down, guarded by Puma, working in, giving to Timm. Timm thought about shooting. Now he does shoot. He pulls from three. No good.
Long.
Yep, long there. So both teams missing shots to start the half. It's thrown out of bounds by number 2. Horton. So both teams' offensive possessions haven't looked the greatest here at the start of the third.
See, that's what we talked about a little bit. We said they like to run and gun, but they're sloppy. And that's a prime example of it right there. They're sloppy, and they tried to go too fast, turn the ball over right back to Williamsville.
And Williamsville, you see that, you got to capitalize. Now your offense has to get something going. Kohler driving in on Puma, high off the glass, and he gets it, and he's at 12.
Man, so Kohler, really responding to the criticism and able to score inside, even against the 6'6", 260 guy, and that's huge for this offense as well as Carson Kohler's confidence.
Almost tipped away by Thomas, but this time White, he'll swing it down. Puma looking down low to Edwards. Edwards, the jumper is good, and he gives Phillips the lead back.
So Edwards really creating there, getting inside, really attacking that 3-man and that 1-3-1 and getting that tough floater to go. Good offense by them.
Works it, Saling giving to Kohler. Kohler giving to Thomas, who's now in the front court. 6 minutes and 25 seconds. Wide open for Bodine, and he's going to have his first points of the night.
Bodine so smart when moving.
Sorry about the technical difficulties. We've had a few things. Our cord that's plugged into our computer is a little wobbly, so we're trying to fix that, but I think we've only had that happen a couple times, so once again, we apologize if you missed it. Layup by Saling. The Bullets down by 3 now. Phillips has it. It's into the hands of number 2, Horton. Horton kicking it back out. Edwards thought about pulling it. It'll be Horton in the left corner. 4 minutes and 42 seconds. Puma wide open layup. Fed to by Horton. And that's exactly what the offensive possessions for Chicago Phillips should look like. It's Thomas. He'll work it into the front court. Down by 5. Guarded by Childs. Now it's Griffin Watkins. Watkins will give to Saling near the key. Saling kicking it out. Brecken Thomas trying to make something happen around a defender. It's Horton driving in, and it's a tough layup for Thomas.
He wanted the foul there. He sold that, but no foul called. But I mean, only down 3, man. You're still in this. You're still 1 possession.
White swinging it. It's down to Childs, and Phillips is really starting to go here as they get the layup. And they've got yet again a 5-point lead.
1-3-3 rotation. Childs is making them pay just by flashing down, and Williamsville's not able to recover.
Saling all the way to the bucket. He's got it, so they're trading layups, but Williamsville's going to need a little bit more, and their defense is really going to have to step up.
Now in this 1-3-3, they got to watch the backside because Childs is cutting in right there. Bodine has to watch it. So does Saling.
And we've got a traveling violation, so a turnover gives Williamsville the ball back. Garrett Timm back in the game for Griffin Watkins.
That's what they needed. They needed a turnover. I mean, their offense, Williamsville's offense is playing as good as they've played all postseason. So, but Phillips is really good offensively. So
we didn't know how turnovers. We didn't know how Williamsville's offense was going to come out. We knew their defense was going to be challenged like they haven't been challenged all postseason. Phillips, a high-scoring offense. Media timeout, right? That was a media timeout. Media timeout called. It'll probably be around a minute. So we'll take a quick minute break here on the wire. Once again, brought to you by Top Tier Springfield. Wade Muller at WesttownFord.com and Elite Lawn Care. We'll be back. Welcome back to the Williamsville Wire. Bodine looks to inbound. 3 minutes and 37 seconds remain in the third. Down by 3, and they've got, after the turnover, after the travel, Carson Kohler has it. He'll give it to Brecken Thomas. The Bullets looking to keep their offense rolling here in the state semifinal, a stage that Bullets basketball hasn't been on in 33 years. It's Brayden Saling kicking. Thomas right corner, guarded by Puma, the big man out near the perimeter, drawing him away. See if they can get it down to Kohler. Thomas, he'll swing it to Kohler, but it's turned over into the hands of number 15, Phoenix Childs, and now Williamsville really needs defense after the turnover.
A 3-point game, and if they get a bucket, it's back to 2 possessions. And
yep.
I know it's still the third quarter, but you don't want this team and this offense to get hot.
Childs, he'll swing it across the way. It's Harris. Harris, Edwards. Edwards to Horton. Horton to Phillips, leading scorer. Guarded by Thomas. Driving in, he'll give it to Puma. Puma swinging it. Edwards pulls a deep 3 and drills it. 6-point lead. It's the largest of the day for Chicago Phillips.
So again, that's just a detrimental shot.
Bodine has it now. He's forced to carry it up the floor. He'll give it to Thomas.
Really tough man-to-man from Phillips.
Thomas driving in through contact and one, and the Bullets are back in it.
Mr. March, he's back. And this is when he shows up big time. late third quarter, early fourth, he really tries to put the team on his back and lead them. He's a leader.
Thomas finishing through contact, and that's what he does best. He'll go to the line with the chance to make it a one-possession game, and that'll be huge, and especially if you get a defensive stop. 2:28 left to go in this third, but, I mean, you would imagine that these big shots wouldn't come from your best player, or excuse me, your most clutch player.
Gets it, three-point play complete for the senior point guard for the Bullets.
One possession once again.
Elijah Harris has it. He's working it for Chicago. Phillips will swing it out. Edwards, who just hit a three, looks for another. It's no good. Kohler, a tough rebound. Kohler giving it to Brayden Thomas, and he'll set up the Williamsville offense. 2 minutes remaining here in the third.
Caught a break there from Amari Edwards. Deep three, couldn't convert. Hit off the front of the rim, so Williamsville take advantage.
Giving it. Kohler, now Watkins works back. He was kind of there as well. Kohler, be careful with the ball, giving Thomas, driving in, out of bounds, no foul call. It'll stay with Williamsville down low. Jump, you know, the Bullet fans wanted a foul. They didn't get it.
That's what Brecken wanted too.
Yeah.
That's why he took it up on him. Just like he did earlier in the game, you know, you're probably not going to score on that big guy, but that was his plan was to get contact. And
he got some contact. He doesn't get called. It's turned over. It's another one. In the front court, Horton looks to slam it down, and yes, he does. Now, Williamsville can't let this get out of hand. They got to get in after the turnover and the slam. It's Saling, 1:30. Saling pulls a deep three, and his shot is not even close.
It was tipped, and that's a good shot. Just maybe step into it a little bit more, set your feet.
I would say so. Horton, who just slammed, now shoots a mid-range jumper, fouled, and one. And he's a big-time player making big-time plays here at the state tournament.
Wow, what a play on offense. That's
a dagger, almost.
I mean, that's huge.
It feels, that dunk kind of felt like a gut punch. I would like to saw a timeout maybe. Slow things down for Williamsville. We now find herself down by 7, which is the largest lead. It could be 8 after the free throw.
Again, we've seen this team come back from deficits like this. We were down 7 against Macomb in the fourth quarter. So the Macomb tried to hold it, but Phillips we know won't. But so our defense will have to step up.
It's going to have to be a full team effort here. Kohler, 1:20 remain in the third quarter. Kohler driving in, swinging Brayden Scott around one defender, and he's going to lay it in off the glass.
Kohler, not just a scorer, but he's a distributor as well. Found Scott on the other block, driving in. Easy layup for Scott.
Horton pulls a deep three, shot no good, and that's a rare miss for him. Brayden Thomas, now this offensive possession means a lot. Out of bounds, he was looking for Scott. It's yet another turnover. And Phillips has it back with 56 seconds remaining in the third.
So again, that can't happen when Phillips misses a shot, and you got to take advantage on offense. That time Scott wasn't ready for it, and he needs to lock in if Williamsville wants to come back in this one.
Williamsville's going to need defense. They haven't played too bad so far. They gave them all they can handle, but it's Horton that's kind of stepped up and made some big plays for the Wildcats. He's got it this time, left wing. He'll swing it back into the hands of number 3, Elijah Harris. Swinging down low for Childs, and a foul will be called down low, and he'll get 2 shots at the charity stripe.
So Saling, that's his, I believe, second.
So he's not in too bad of foul trouble. The last time we had this crew, he was, but
this is going to be tough.
No doubt. This whole postseason's been tough. Childs at the line. First one's no good.
So again, down 6, 35 seconds left. Obviously, if he misses it, got to grab the board. If he makes it, get something to go. Take momentum with you into the fourth quarter and then just ride it from there. But defense got to step up, got to close out on those shooters. And obviously the big man in Buma can make it a tough situation in total for this defense.
It's now 7-point lead for Phillips, 31 seconds. I'm sure Williams will take one last shot. Brayden Thomas giving Brayden Scott right wing, trying to make something happen. 21. Garrett Timm has it. He's got to be careful not to get a count. Scott almost looked for Kohler. Now Brayden Scott almost lost it. Saling there to make a tough play. Scott, Kohler down low through some contact. He can't get the layup. Out of bounds. It'll stay with Williamsville down low. They're going to say hit off Puma down low, so Williamsville lucks out. 7 seconds remaining here in the third.
Kohler, one of those bunnies where he's just got to make it.
Yeah.
7 seconds
I
left.
think there was some contact, but you know what? It is what it is. Kohler, Thomas, left side, giving Timm. Timm makes one man miss, pulls a three. It's no good. That'll end the third quarter.
That would have been huge. Cut it to 4, instead it's 7, and Williamsville, familiar territory, down 7 against Macomb in the fourth. So obviously Phillips, a formidable opponent and a formidable offense. But Williamsville, they've got magic, and we'll see what happens in this late quarter.
Williamsville, their season on the line if they want to run at the state basketball championship, but both teams as well. So Williamsville's had some magic. We'll see if they're able to pull this one out, or Phillips will head to the title game. We'll be back. Welcome back to the Williamsville Wire, back in Urbana-Champaign at the State Farm Center. Phillips has it to start the fourth. 8 minutes remaining in Williamsville's quest for a state title. Here it is. Into the hands, it's Horton. Horton down low to Childs. It's pulled down. It looked like a travel, but nonetheless he missed the shot. And they're lucky that it missed because that was in fact a travel.
Yeah.
Thomas near the key, driving in on Puma through some contact. Kohler not able to pull it down. Beard wanted a foul. They don't get it. It's into the hands of number 3, Elijah Harris. Now Horton driving in. He's fouled. No shot. No shot is called.
That's Kohler's fourth, though.
Kohler has his fourth. He's definitely got to come out of the game.
Yeah, that's tough. 7:28 left, and with a beast like Mbuma, Sanders is going to have a tall task. We'll see what Beard elects to do. And
Lucky that was on the floor.
Yep.
Really lucky.
Such a good player, and there's no doubt about it. Williams is going to get the turnover. It was number 3, Elijah Harris swinging it. It's turned over.
Big shot.
Timm in the corner for 3. Shot no good, and shooting continues to be a struggle in these past 2 games for Williamsville.
They're shooting from the college line, just like Colin mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
It's just
Their shots have
5 feet
definitely
deeper.
been short. Kind of the same thing we saw in West Central in December.
would have been huge to cut the lead to 4 and provided new life for Williamsville offensively. Just Timm couldn't convert.
Yeah. Here we go. Elijah Harris swinging it. It's Horton in. Tough layup. for Horton. He's got it, and it's now a 9-point lead for Phillips.
Well, late in games, this is where skill takes over, and Phillips, Horton, D1 basketball player, and that's huge for offenses. Scott misses.
He's almost too good at this point.
Yep, it's no good. It's Edwards. He'll swing it up the way. It's into the hands of Horton. Horton giving it out. Now it's Edwards. Back in, swinging. Deep three by Childs is good, and it's...
This one is looking bleak.
Yeah. Timeout called by Coach Beard. It'll be a full timeout. Williamsville finds himself down by 12 to Chicago Phillips. 6 minutes and 26 remaining in this semifinal. Welcome back to the Williamsville Wire. The Bullets shooting 2 for 15 from 3, which is 13%. And that's kind of been the storyline. You make just a couple more of those, you're right in this one. Carson Kohler up the way. And the Bullet comeback's going to have to start right now, down by 12. Thomas has it, 6 minutes and 15 seconds remain. He's not closely guarded. Now I'll give it to Timm. Timm feeds Bodine. Bodine near the key, not closely guarded. He'll give it off Saling, this time guarded by Hill in, high off the glass, shot no good, into the hands of number 3, Elijah Harris. Harris up the way. Horton thought about dunking over everybody, hits off the top of the glass.
Wow.
And Williamsville gets it back.
Wow.
And that's a college level player there.
Really athletic.
I mean,
I know he
insane.
missed, but that's insane.
I don't know, man. Now Kohler in the front court. Puma guarding him. He'll swing it out. Garrett Timm. Timm, he's got to give it out. He will. It's Saling. Saling this time closely guarded by Harris. Saling near the key. Driving in around defenders, and they finally end the scoring drought and get a bucket. First of the quarter.
Down 10, 5:32 left. What is Williamsville got?
Traveling violation. The Bullets get it back, down by 10.
Here comes the magic again. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, calm down.
It's going to be tough.
Down by 10 points. Phillips, a high-powered offense.
It's going to be
5
tough.
minutes and 30 seconds remain.
You always hold out hope.
Brecken Thomas will work it up the way. He'll give it to Kohler. Kohler to Bodine. Offensive possession's even more crucial now. Saling pulls a 3, and to say that Saling's shot is off today is an understatement.
I just think
that missed short and wide.
That was nowhere near.
I think it's the backdrop. I mean, just these arenas, he's just not used to it.
I think Phillips probably has a little bit more experience playing, and I'm sure some gyms up there have backdrops similar. Not exact, but similar. It's Horton. Horton swinging Edwards. Edwards now to Childs, who hit a 3. Childs swinging. It's Horton. Horton, who's going to shoot a mid-range jumper here. It's no good. Bodine can't pull it down. Puma down low is a beast, and he gets the layup.
That's tough. Just really took it out of Bodine's hands. And Bodine wasn't strong enough, and Puma showing his force down low.
Thomas, no foul called. It's out of bounds. And it's going to Chicago Phillips as he just threw it out of bounds there. Physical play, but Williamsville has a turnover, and they're down by 12.
It's always tough, especially these late games, but you got to dig deep and really get some momentum, and who knows what will happen. Still 4:25 left.
Edwards kicks it out. It's into the hands of Harris. Harris now swinging back. Edwards. Edwards finding Horton on the right wing, guarded by Thomas in the 1-3-1. It's now Harris across the way. Horton driving in through defenders. He'll turn it over. Thomas into the front court. Looking in transition. Foul and one, and Bullets have a little momentum there with 4 minutes remaining in the fourth.
I don't think he made that.
Did it?
Oh, maybe he did.
I thought he
Yeah, oh, he did make
I
that. I didn't
say,
even see
he
that.
definitely made that.
I was looking at the ref to see if he was going to call a charge or a block. I didn't even see him make the shot.
So they can get it down within 10, 4 minutes remaining. So for Williamsville, I mean, you can't allow any more points.
No.
I mean, it's
gotta be
I say any
flawless
more,
from
but
there.
you can't allow more than a couple baskets. As
And
he
I know-
completes yet another three-point play.
I know we talk about offense for this Phillips Wildcats team, but credit to their defense. I mean, they've played strong pressure defense, and that attributes to their athleticism and speed all around the roster.
Edwards driving in. It's going to lose it. It's a jump ball. Bullets will have it.
This is a huge possession, Nathan.
Huge, because
have to get
here
points.
you can get it right back in it. Timeout's going to be called, and that doesn't really help Williamsville at all because they had a little bit of momentum. But nonetheless, they'll have a chance to catch their breath. We'll be back here on the Williamsville Wire. 3 minutes and 47 seconds remain. Welcome back to the Williamsville Wire. The Bullets are down by 9. They have the ball, and you'll never have a bigger offensive possession for Williamsville.
You're able to get a 3 and cut it to 6. Some new life.
Bodine giving to Timm in the right corner. Shooting has not been great today from 3 for Williamsville. Thomas giving to Kohler down low, working around some defenders. He'll kick it out. Thomas pulls a 3. Shot is well off, but Thomas, the putback, also no good.
Again, shooting from the college line, you just step up, make a shot.
Yep.
And then you get an offensive
It's tough.
rebound.
It's
and miss
tougher
the
than it
layup.
seems. Childs, jump step, basket good.
So again, that just ruined all momentum for Williamsville, and probably gonna do it for here. Williamsville maybe will try for the 4th place.
Kohler down to Timm. A tough layup for Williamsville. Now down back by 9. Into the front court. Kind of playing a higher press. Foul called. Is it on Thomas
Yeah,
or
it's
Timm?
gonna be on Thomas on the reach in.
I don't like that one.
Yeah, that was all ball. I don't agree with that call, but I mean that's tough. That's momentum for Williamsville.
Yeah, that's a layup. It's a 7-point game again.
That's Thomas's first, which is kind of unusual for being
tough.
3 minutes remaining in the game. It's into Horton. Horton guarded by Thomas, up by 9, swinging it into the hands of Edwards. Edwards giving back. Horton to Edwards. Edwards right wing, giving out Childs now. Childs has it. He'll give to Horton with 2:55. And Bodine will pick up a foul. I believe that's his third.
Again, Phillips hasn't really been consistent from the line, so if push comes to sub and you start fouling right now, then they don't hit shots. These are empty possessions that you need, and got to go score on offense.
Here we go. Horton has it, guarded by Brayden Thomas. He'll swing it up the way. It's Edwards. Edwards giving out. Horton left wing, giving down Puma. Puma turned it over. He was looking for number 1. That's Edwards. Thomas driving in. Count the basket.
Yeah,
they're going to call a
goaltending
there as they're going to say it hit around.
The ball was falling when he touched it, so yes, a good call there, and almost went in regardless, but
I thought there may have been a foul, which would have been a goaltend and 1, which you don't see every day. So now Williamsville down by 7. Feels a little better, but you're still not anywhere close. Puma lost it almost for a moment, but it'll go up.
Travel.
They're going to call it travel, and the Bullets have it back.
More momentum.
Garrett Timm will work in.
You got to start hitting shots.
Yes.
I mean, it's bottom line. If they don't hit a shot on this
it's just like
possession,
last game. I mean, you have 2 threes, but you got to have a couple more. I mean, that's bottom line.
Feels like they never go away.
No.
You know what I'm saying? There's pests.
2 minutes remain in this one, down by 7. Brayden Saling has it. He's going to lose it, but it's out of bounds off a Wildcat. It'll be off number 3. That's Elijah Harris. Saling looks to inbound. Thomas has it. The comeback has got to start right now with 1:54 remaining. Garrett Timm has it. He'll give Brayden Thomas. Thomas, Saling, now trying to drive in. The jumper, no good. Saling gets his rebound. He'll give it out. Saling pulls a deep 3.
Got it.
Nails it.
Again, Saling shooting with confidence, but you need to D up right now.
Foul's going to be called on Garrett Timm. It's on Horton.
It's okay.
4 points now separate these two.
Like we just said, Nathan, they never go away, man. They're just like that pest that just keeps bugging and bugging and bugging you.
Yep.
They never seem, even when they're down and out, they never seem to be down and out, if that makes sense.
Now it's Horton, and now Williamsville's got to play pressure defense here.
Yeah, pressure, foul. They've got 4 fouls, so one more. They're in. Phillips is in the bonus.
Childs driving in now. Swinging,
another
it's turned over. Brayden Thomas has it. He gives it up. Griffin Watkins in. Back out to Thomas. He pulls from 3. Shots no good.
Got his own rebound.
Kohler through contact.
And one! And they're right back in it.
They're right back in it. It could be a 1-point game if it can complete.
Oh, baby.
Wow.
And the pest will not go away.
I mean, that's insane. I mean, what's going on?
Kohler at the line. 1 minute remain. Kohler has it.
1-point game.
Here we go.
Ooh,
it's
baby.
Horton. They're still down. Horton will swing it. It's into the hands of Edwards. Edwards, timeout called. Williamsville's rallying themselves right back into it.
I just don't believe it. I mean, it's unbelievable. The way resilient, they're able to get. I mean, they just stay confident in each other, and they really come up big when necessary. And again, 7-point lead at the end of at the end of the third for Phillips, just like Macomb. They do it again, and it's a 1-point game.
We got to catch our breather, guys. We'll be back. Williamsville down by 1. State finals. A trip to state championship is on the line. Both teams battling for their season. We'll be back. Welcome back. This place is as loud as it's been all day. The Bullets now down by just one, and the magic lives. We'll see if they're able to pull it off. Here we go. It's Horton. He's got it. He'll swing it across the way. It's Harris. Harris back to Horton. Horton. Harris left side in the 1-through-1, giving Puma. Puma out, and now they're looking to stall.
No threes. No threes.
Horton has it. 44 seconds guarded by Bodine. He'll swing it. We got yet another timeout called.
And Williamsville's in this bonus.
Yep.
And they have no more fouls to give. If that ball goes to Puma, I foul him.
Yeah, you can't
hack-a-shack.
You can't have threes because here's what. Yeah, right.
I would do the same thing.
If you have, listen, if you have the fact that these shooters can, make shots when necessary, and they have. I mean, the second half they've been on fire from anywhere, even the college line, and it's proved to be fatal for Williamsville, but they've gotten themselves back in it. But this defensive possession, I would, if that ball goes into side to number 24, Claude and Puma, you foul them, and you take the risk on the free throws. And
they just,
I'm not sure if that's what Beard will do, but it's something that can be discussed and talked about because they haven't been great from the line, and you would assume, your tallest player, your tallest center, really isn't that good from the line.
Yep.
But again, Williamsville play tight defense. If you don't elect to do that, you can't afford a three-point basket, and they are not afraid to shoot it, and they can't make it.
Well, Williamsville put Jackson Sanders in for Carson Kohler, so Colin, they might be thinking on the same path as you.
Yeah, because Kohler can't foul.
Yeah,
so as soon as that ball gets down low to Puma, you foul him.
You foul him immediately.
Yep.
And you send him to the line.
Send him to the line, make him shoot him.
Yeah, he's their biggest.
Free throw shooting for Phillips hasn't been great, so if that continues at all, Horton has it. He'll swing it. Edwards, 40 seconds. They give it back. Edwards, Horton.
The foul eventually.
Yep, 35. They don't have any fouls to give, so now it's going to be bonus. Griffin Watkins will pick one up. So now it's Elijah Harris to the line.
And number 3 is Elijah Harris, and he has no points on the night. So force him to go to the line. He hasn't had a shot all night. He's missed a few, so force him. Why not?
The good thing is you got Williamsville fans behind them shooting.
Yeah.
So need to distract. Some of them do, but biggest free throws of this guy's career right here.
Harris first, no good.
Ooh. 2-point or 1-point
game.
Potentially 2-point game. And somehow Williamsville's in it.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
You know what?
There's one word to put it. It's magical.
It is magic.
30-second timeout called by Coach Beard. He's trying to ice him with 31 seconds remaining in the fourth. A state championship trip is on the line. Once again, another free throw coming up. The Bullets will get it back afterwards as long as he doesn't miss, and it's a rebounding situation. Once again, timeout brought to you by Elite Lawn Care. Wade Muller at westtownford.com. And Top Tier Springfield. We're going to catch our breath. We'll be back. Welcome back to the Williamsville Wire. Once again, at the line, number 3, Elijah Harris, looking to put Phillips up by 2 after missing the first. And if he misses, Williamsville has got to pull down a defensive board.
Yes.
And this place as loud as it's ever been. Harris is second, no good. Williamsville has it. It's Kohler. He'll give it to Thomas. 28 seconds. Thomas near the line, giving. He'll lose it. It's turned over into the front court. You can't panic if you're Williamsville. Fouled and one, and that cannot happen.
No.
Wow.
And that sucks all the life right out of him.
Wow.
You can't foul if you're Brecken. I know what he's trying to do there, but
and if you're going to foul, you got to foul him hard enough. He's not going to make it.
They put the score for the wrong team.
Scoreboard's wrong. Scoreboard is in fact wrong.
But it is 56 to 53 with a a chance to make it a 2-possession game with 19 seconds, and that hurts.
Yeah,
I mean,
this is a huge free throw because it can be a 2-possession lead, and it's no good. Out of bounds, and Phillips has it back. And rebounding there, and it's going to be a timeout called for by Phillips with 17 and 9/10 of a second remaining as they look to pull this one out. Williamsville kind of had it there. They were down by 1 with the ball. It was a turnover that proved possibly costly in this one. We'll be back to see if Williamsville has any fight in them because they'll probably have to foul. Welcome back to the Williamsville Wire. The Bullets down by 3 after a huge turn of events for Phillips. It's inbounded by Puma. He swings it into Edwards. He is fouled. Wow. And now 2 shots are coming up with 17 seconds remaining.
Mari Edwards.
And Bodine is done, I think, right? Is that his 5th? Yeah. Yes, it is. He's done. Bodine is done.
I don't think he was trying to foul. I don't even know if he did foul him. The number 1's momentum was taking him out of bounds, and he went out of bounds. But the refs give him a foul.
I mean, his hands were inside, so I could see it. But then again, 4th quarter and tensions are flying. You know how it is.
And that's
sinks it, and that might do it.
That's just
it's a 4-point lead for Phillips.
It's an anticipation call as well. They're anticipating a foul, so they're going to call it no matter what, and that's what refs usually do.
So Edwards overcoming the loudness of this gym and making it a 2-possession game. Williamsville needs a miracle.
Yeah. 17 seconds. Second one is good. They're down by 5. Saling will give it in. He'll roll it. And they need a quick bucket. That's Thomas near the key. He'll give it off Saling, swinging it. Saling pulls a deep 3. He hasn't hit one in the moment, but he hits that one. And a timeout called by Coach Beard, and they won't go away yet.
This is stupid.
And they won't go away yet.
What in the world?
2-point lead for Phillips. We'll take yet another quick break.
What the
Welcome back to the Williamsville Wire, and the inbound is crucial. If they get it in, Bullets have to foul immediately. If not, they're going to look for a turnover.
Coach Beard.
Puma looks to inbound. He throws it deep, and it's into the hands of Horton, and he's looking to slam it home and slam home a trip to the state championship. Time's going to run out here on the Bullets' magical postseason run. Their quest for a state title ends.
And that's tough. And You know, we had the comeback and we had it in us, but Phillips using their athleticism and just pure raw skill to will themselves out of that. So much, so much the momentum going for Williamsville just wasn't enough to phase this high-powered offense in Phillips Academy. But credit to the Bullets, they never wavered. They fought back.
They fought hard. It's almost, you know, if Williamsville's going to go out on a loss, this is how it was going to be. They were going to battle back. They never quit. It's unbelievable. This is such a great team. You know, I know every single person on this basketball team. They're great guys. Phillips will play for the state title game. Obviously, congratulations. They're one heck of a team, and they're definitely contenders for that title. They'll play either the Benton Rangers or the Byron Tigers. And Williamsville is going to play a third-place game. They're going to play the loser of that game at 8:15. But like we said, we're thinking probably, 9 o'clock or so will probably be when they play, based on how everything gets pushed back due to that early overtime game. The winning streak is over for Williamsville, but the memories will last forever. We'll be back, like I said, 9 o'clock. We'll have yet another stream up. Williamsville fights hard, but goes down to Chicago Phillips.